Society's shock absorbers. Why women have it worse. This chapter aims to pierce an apparent medical mystery. Why do women suffer chronic illness of the body far more often than men? And why are they far more likely to be diagnosed with mental health conditions? I say apparent because from all that is known about the body mind unity and our biopsychosocial nature, the answers are staring us in the face and are predictable. That we don't recognize them has nothing to do with our taking for granted the normal way of things in a culture of patriarchy, which, despite centuries of female resistance and progress, is ruled as often by subliminal male concerns as by overt power dynamics. By we, I'm referring not only to my profession of medicine and to society at large, but to my own membership in the dominant sex class and the conditioning that such an affiliation has instilled in me. The truth is, I talk a much better gender equality game than I sometimes play. It has taken and continues to take a very strong and determined woman, my wife Ray, to keep alerting me far more frequently than she should have to such realities in our own personal relationship. The gender gap in health is real if underappreciated. Women are more subject to chronic disease even long before old age, and they have more years of poor health and disability. Women have it worse. A leading US physician wrote recently pointing out that women are at much higher risk of suffering chronic pain, migraines, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. As noted in Chapter 4, rheumatoid arthritis strikes women 3 times more often than it does men. Lupus affects women by a disproportionate factor of 9, and the female to male ratio of multiple sclerosis has been rising for decades. Women also have double men's incidence of anxiety, depression, and PTSD. We are creating a new normal that isn't normal at all. This book has, after all, been tracing the physiological impacts of developmental needs not being met, of stress and trauma. A consistent theme beyond scientific doubt has been that such emotional disturbances frequently trigger inflammation and other forms of physiological and mental harm. To me, the answer is clear. They are both specially targeted by a culture that does not honor but demeans, distorts, and even impels people to suppress who they are. If that is an accurate assessment, we would expect that as these pressures intersect and compound each other, so would the incidence of disease rise. And it does hugely. Here we take the logical step of looking at the stresses of being female in a patriarchal society. These two get under the skin, playing havoc with all systems of the body, including the immune system. In such a sexualized, threatening climate, how can many women avoid developing that assaulted sense of self? As I distinguished earlier, repression is, as opposed to suppression, occurs with no conscious awareness. Our healthy feelings are banished beneath the level of consciousness, out of mind, out of sight. Sugar and spice don't make space for anything that's not nice. Holland writes, when we don't even know we are angry, we can't converse with the person responsible, or otherwise tackle the problem. We cry, we eat, we soothe ourselves 1,000 different ways. Early childhood mechanisms of self suppression are reinforced by persistent gendered social conditioning. Many women end up self silencing, defined as the tendency to silence one's thoughts and feelings to maintain safe relationships, particularly intimate relationships. That not listening to self in order to prioritize others' needs is a significant source of health impairing roles women assume. It is among the medically overlooked but pernicious ways in which our society's normal imposes a major health cost on women.